Hey everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of the Stash Report from the Stash Project. Today is February 2nd, 2018, and this weekend we have the Nuremberg Toy Fair ongoing. Actually started on Wednesday. It runs, I believe, through the weekend. But we found out what we're going to find out as far as kits and things like that. Nothing really that we didn't know other than one new toolkit announcement from Fujimi, hint, not a 1.4 scale, as well as one new announcement from Bell Kits as well, which is a 1/24 scale new toolkit. Beyond that, it's just sort of a few things that we already knew were coming, but we're sort of getting a first look at some prototype builds on those. So hopefully you'll find some interest in this. And then, of course, we have our regular routine walk in the park show, if you will. So over at Fujimi, the brand new toolkit that they've announced, showing some love back to the F1 community, is going to be the Ferrari. Let me get my list out here so I can give you the appropriate name here. Is the SF70H. This is the F1 kit for the F1 car from the 2017 F1 season. I believe Sebastian Vettel finished second in the points. So, of course, the belly aching has already started in the modeling community. Why didn't they make the Mercedes-Benz that won? Probably because they have a Ferrari license and not a... I mean, they have a Mercedes-Benz license, but not, as much as the Ferrari license. And the Ferrari license is a lot more expensive, and, you probably want to get some return investment on that, since the last Ferrari you made was the FXXK, and that's been a couple of years at this point. So, there's 154 parts in this. It is curbside in the sense that in the current goings-on with F1 cars, they are not including full detail engines anymore. All the engine stuff is very, very hush-hush top secret. Plus, it's also encaged in a whole bunch of carbon fiber and things like that, so you really don't even see the engine anymore, even with the cowling off. So you get, like the back half of the differential, the trans box and things like that, and the exhaust. But beyond that, that's it. There's no real engine in this. It's caused a bunch of, again, whining and moaning. However, if you are into modern F1 cars, you knew this was the situation, and you really shouldn't be surprised. It seems to be the people that don't build F1 cars and are mostly familiar with the F1 cars from like the 80s and the 90s that did, of course, have full detail engines, even in stuff like the Fujimi kits. They're, appalled and whatnot. I've seen a few people say there are a few decals missing from the livery. I don't know nor care enough about modern F1, or really any F1, let's be honest, to know if that's true or not, but I guarantee you there will be, of course, a plethora of stuff for this. There is, if you look at the picture there, some carbon fiber in the kit already. I'm sure Studio 27 will do a full, tilt F1, or full tilt F1, a full tilt carbon fiber for this F1 kit. And if there are any decals missing, if there's a tobacco livery or an alcohol livery or whatever, the fill-in decals will come, as well as, of course, does not appear to be any photo etch included in this kit, but I'm sure that Studio 27, Hobby Design, Top Studio, somebody along the way will, of course, do, again, full-on resin and photo etch stuff, resin braid calipers and stuff like that for it as well. So, it's one of those kits that depends on how you want to build it, or how badly you want to build it, as to how much you can wait. Because I think this is one of those kits you buy when it comes out, just to go ahead and get one, and then hang off on building it for, like maybe till summertime, and let all the aftermarket support come out for it if you want to go that route, or else you're going to end up building it and then finding out you're halfway through it that, oh, hey, look, here's the photo etch set that I really, really wanted, and, that sort of thing. So keep that in mind when you're looking at it. It's one of the, to me, it's one of those type of deals where, much like the AMG GT3 kit that Tamiya did, the kit came out in November, and it wasn't until January that we got the carbon fiber decal set for it, and it's not going to be until maybe late this month, beginning of March, before we get the photo etch set for it, unless you go straight through Hong Kong to get it, because it's already out in China. Where if you built it as soon as you came, you had no other liveries, no carbon fiber, no photo etch, and it's a nice kit out of the box. But if you really want the full build kind of thing, waiting for the aftermarket is what you need to do. So I know that it'll probably make more people happy than sad, but I would like to have seen another 1.4 scale car, but Shizuka's still coming. Maybe there's still some stuff in the works for summer. Always that hope. The other new toolkit that was announced at the toy show this week is the next Bell Kits release, and that is going to be the Ford Fiesta RS WRC 2017 edition. This is going to be normal Bell Kits, night parts, photo etch stuff. They've this morning released a what they call the handy built version, which of course is the first test shot. They're saying there's a few things that they're going to look at revision-wise as far as the tooling goes, and then they're going to start working on the decals. So they've already got the licensing from Ford and everything, and Red Bull worked out. Obviously, you saw in that first picture. So I don't know when this kit's going to come out. There's no announced release date for it. Obviously, the Opel Mantas are on a boat, literally on the way to Europe right now. This is the next release after the Opels. Late summer, maybe early fall, possibly. It all depends on decals and final licensing approval and things like that. I would assume it's going to come out this year. That would be my guess. I don't think we're going to have to wait until 2019 for this kit, especially since we're announcing it so early in 2018. Of note, this is, of course, the 2017 World Rally Championship car, and this kit is being specifically done for the 2017 Monte Carlo Rally. The interesting point here, if you're into modern rally cars, would be with the 2015 and 2016 Volkswagen Polo kits that Bell Kits did here in the early fall, were the 2015 Monte Carlo winning car, the 2016 Monte Carlo winning car, and this is the 2017 Monte Carlo winning car. So you can, in very short order, without getting any kind of special liveries or anything for it, build 3 podium winning cars in a row, and you guys know how much I love that. So yeah, I'll be picking this up. I really have no interest in modern rally beyond the fact that I bought the two Polos, as you saw in the box thing we did. Yeah, I'll grab one of these whenever it comes out, just because it's Ford Focus. Come on, yeah, I know. Again, much belly aching that this is not a street car, and why didn't they do the new Toyota Yaris or the new Hyundai rally car? And it's a small company. Give them time. Maybe they'll do it. Who knows? There currently are right now placeholders for 2 more additional kits. When they show their wall of kits, this is going to be, I think this is Bell Kits number 12. And so 13 and 14 are still up there with top secret things beside them. So we may get more announcements this year, even as far as what the next rally kits are going to be. So, keep your pants on. We'll see what comes out of this. And that's the new stuff. Now, back to Tamiya for half a second, because we're going to get some more reissues that they announced at the toy show. First up, and they're calling this new, but it's not, is the LaFerrari yellow edition, or yellow version. Basically, it's going to be just a straight reissue of the LaFerrari kit, only all the body components are molded in yellow. So if you wanted to make a yellow one, obviously this is a very easy way to do that. Just put a little Tamiya yellow, chrome yellow over top of the body, and you're done. Otherwise, it's the same LaFerrari kit. There's nothing new here, just a different body color. So I mean, there's that. And then this is sort of the rest of the reissues for the spring and early summer. You see they're bringing back the 1/12 scale Caterham Super 7 BDR kit. Expect this to be pricey. Okay, this was $180, $200 last time. I've seen already this thing being, I think a Hero Boy has this for almost $500 US. You're going to have to order this from Japan if you want it. There's no possible way to get this domestically in the United States, Canada, Europe, anywhere. I mean, Europe I don't know if Canada pays imports or not, but Europe for sure. Obviously, you guys pay import duties on your stuff when it comes over. It may be more than buying it domestically. I don't know what postal duties are over there. We don't do that here, but it's going to be, $400 or $500 retail on this kit, United States, more than likely. So expect this to be $200 to $250 or so in Japan. Might comes in at $200. It really depends. The reason why this is sort of a little more pricey than your traditional kit is there's a lot of die-cast metal in this. The frame is die-cast, the sides of the car, the basic body of the car itself, and the hood are all die-cast as well. So, I mean, there's some heft to this, too. It's going to cost an arm and a leg to ship as well. But if you've tried to price one of these kits right now on eBay or wherever, they're selling for $500, $600, $700. So it will certainly be cheaper to get a new reissue if you're interested in a large-scale Caterham. Also on this in this shot are the their I believe it's 1/16 scale Honda N360. I mean, it's an old tool, but the N360s are selling for House of Gals, so why not throw yours back out there? And then two 1/24 scale reissues are the Citroen 2CV, which is just a venerable old historic car series kit for them, as well as the Mazda RX-7 Savannah GT Limited, which is sort of an odd release. I guess mainly because they just took the convertible out of the catalog. Like, the convertible chugged along for a long time after the coupe went out of production, and now they took the convertible out and they're bringing this back, so you can't buy them both at the same time, although the convertible is not very hard to find even in the aftermarket right now. That kit hasn't been out for a little while. I think almost 10 years since the last time they reissued it, so it is full detail, like the convertible, and much like the convertible, it is left-hand, right-hand drive, so you can build this as a North American spec-ish. Not quite, but almost RX-7 of that generation. I think this is also, again, they saw how well the Revell first-gen RX-7 sold, so why not bring out, bring the reissue of the second one back out, the third-gen, the Infiniti or the R1. That's still in the catalog, so it doesn't do any harm to go ahead and keep that rolling too. So that's your Tamiya reissues. There are no release dates on any of those, so just patience on that. It'll be April, May, probably maybe June. It'll be the late fall, early summer, I would expect. Over at Revell of Germany, they showed a couple of things. One is the built test shot of the 35th anniversary, if you will. They're calling it 35 years of, but it's the 35th anniversary Volkswagen Golf GTI Pirelli edition. This represents the 1983 Golf GTI, in addition to what are known as the P-hole wheels, which is not a obscenity or me trying to be dirty. Get your minds out of the gutter. If you look at the wheels, they have P-shaped holes for Pirelli. Be interested to see if this includes the big Pirelli stripes that are supposed to get down the side of the car as well, because that was part of the Pirelli package. On the 83 Golf, the other big thing here is the quad headlight grille. That is a new piece as well. Should be a new rear fascia and as well, because the rear end got a little retweak as well. 98% of this is a reissue of the GTI kit that they did back in, what was it, 2012 or so, I want to say. But, it's getting a couple of little pieces and parts added to it and bring it back out and get a little more traction out of the tooling. I'll pick one of these up just because I have so many of the Gen 1 Golfs at this point. And then the other thing they showed us was this. This is the 2000 and insert a year Ford GT Le Mans car. Now, why I'm saying insert a year, well, let me pause that for a second, because we'll talk about the good stuff here first. This test shot you see here was built by Dave Thibodeau using Gravity Colors. Yay. So this is what the car looks like. From what I understand from talking to somebody who knows Dave, I did not talk to him directly because I didn't find out he built it until after somebody else already told me, so I didn't need to track him down for it. I'll take their word for his word. This is straight out of the box as far as the stance and the wheels and everything. It's apparently a very, very nice kit as far as that goes. So cheers to Revell for not borking this up and making a C7R out of it. This is going to be 120 pieces, not some little 50, 60 part goofy toy-like thing. They went full tilt boogie on this, probably because Ford made them. So good on them. Now, the 2000 and blank year is, I don't have a good shot of the box art because it was the ones from IPS Deutschland, which a couple of those pictures we took off of their website, were too far away to really bring out the point I want to do in this picture, which is actually from Gravity Colors. Doesn't show the box art. This livery scheme that's on that kit is the 2017 24 Hours of Le Mans car, the one that finished second to the Aston Martin that you can buy through Profile 24. The box art is the 2016 24 Hours of Le Mans car. It is very different, easy to tell the difference between the two of them because of, aside from associate sponsorships, which is, what I focus on, the number placards are also in a different place. On the 2016 car, the number placards, aside from having different colors and different, like, World Endurance Championship logos on the placard itself, are right before the rear wheels on the red part, right below where the Castrol Edge logo is. These obviously are on the door. These are the 2017 ones. I'm kind of wondering why they don't have 24 Hours of Le Mans logos. Maybe because they didn't have any done in time. Chances are that these were painted out, so to speak, because the decals are first run decals and they're not quite up to date. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because the 2016 version of this, the rear splitter was almost sort of hung out on the back end of the car like a porch swing. It's held on literally by cables. It's not really integrated into the car itself. The 2017 car, it very much is integral to the rear, chassis pan, so to speak. And you can't do both liveries with that same car because there's also a number of several other minor problems, headlights being one of them as well, between the 2 years. Like, I hate to see Revell go through all this, spending all this time and money to make a certain car and have it not be right. Like, have it be, oh, we put the new livery in the old car. Remember, they did that with this last Corvette. They put the wrong year livery in with the kit itself. I would rather build the 2017 car, mainly because it's the second place finishing car, and then gives me an excuse to go buy a resin Aston Martin kit to do half of the podium. The third place car was a Porsche, and there is no resin kit of that right now. However, if it's the 2016 car, there's a couple of pieces that need to be changed, or maybe the pieces are for the 2016 car and they're going to be inaccurate to build this car. I sense I need aftermarket support, and the kit hasn't even come out yet. Last word we're getting is August on this now, because a lot of places were saying, April, May kind of thing. Yeah, August at least. And I believe that's going to be August for us here in the United States, not necessarily August in the European thing. This is, of course, a Revell of Germany display at Nuremberg, but I don't know why Revell USA just doesn't announce this kit and be done with it, but it's all a whole thing. So I'm very interested and concerned to see exactly what we're getting here, because I hate this whole, oh, we'll just make it the livery and nobody will make it note of the difference, and then you look at the back end of two cars and it's quite different. It may not bother 95% of the people, but it's just going to be one of those things that will really bother me. I'll either need a full set of 2016 liveries so I can do the car that way, which is great because that's the car that won anyway, or I'll need resin support to make the 2017 car correct. I don't want to go into building Le Mans cars because that's a whole can of worms right there. There's so many of them. But I would give a good kit a chance, regardless as to what the thing is. Like why I've gotten so many rally kits recently. So anyway, there's that. And that pretty much wraps up the whole Nuremberg Toy Fair. It's not a lot, right? Because we've already talked to you about the Renault Estafette van coming back. Heller also announced that the Renault 8 Gordini is going to get reissued, which is a rally car. That is a full detail kit. That hasn't been seen in quite a while. I think the last time I got reissued was in Union box, but that is a original Heller tooling. So that's going to get a comeback as well. Some people said, oh, look, they're bringing the Massey Ferguson back, the more modern 70s Massey Ferguson. That was announced last year, so that's not just finally getting around to it more than anything else. A couple of other kit announcements. The Tamiya F1 kit is going to be a March release. So that has already been confirmed. And then also we found out this morning, we're finally getting pre-orders for the B-Max Toyota Corona 1994 JTCC car. That is the next brand new kit from B-Max. It is the kit, the car that came out before the Tamiya Corona Exiv JTCC car that they did, and there will of course be a full detail upset for that, as there are with all BMAX kits. And that'll take us to what actually came out this week. Just a few things from overseas to round out basically the month of January. These were all January releases that came out. First up from Hasegawa, and we forgot this one when we talked about last week, it actually came out last week, is a reissue of the Honda Civic Sear 2. This is just a straight reissue of the Civic 3-door. Just basically a restock at this point, because this is, 2 years ago that they reissued these kits for the first time in like forever. Now they're just having to constantly keep them in stock because they keep selling, so I'm sure that they're tickled by that, right? Another thing I would say, that's not another thing, because we're changing companies. Over at Aoshima, we saw the restock of the SSR Professor SP1 wheels. There were supposed to be like 3 sets of wheels that were getting reissued in January. So far, only this one has been, really reissued in a way that anybody cared enough to say. We talked about this with last video, or maybe the video before that. A lot of the Aoshima restocks don't seem to be being like triumphantly restocked. Basically, I think they're getting just sort of silently restocked, so that we don't talk about all of the reissues the way we used to. Whatever, that's their prerogative. The last of the Reeboxed Reeboxed, kits for the month of January. Really, this was the only model car one that actually ended up coming out, is the Austin FX4 London Black Cab. Be aware this is the old IMA tooling. It does have part of an engine in it, but it is also something like 1/22.5 scale. It is not 1/24. It's not quite 1/20th either, like people say that. It's sort of in between. It's too big for what scale it's supposed to be, but that was sort of IMA shtick. They were more motorized toys than they were model kits. This is the same old. Fancy box art. Looks great. Oh boy, London Black Cab. Pile of disappointment inside. You are forewarned. And then we have 3 Fujimi kits that were released at the end of the month, and this covers up the rest of Fujimi's January kit releases. They are a reissue of the Nissan Skyline GTR BNR32 kits. The shtick here is there are great big plaques that have, that you put on your model on your display case to let people know what they are, in case they're, idiots who hate foreign cars and don't know what an R32 GTR is. Of interest here, the wheels that were done for the all of the promotion are not in the kit. You only get the Nismo wheels. Then you have the BNR34 Skyline reissue. This is, of course, a snap-tight kit, because all of Fujimi's R34s are snap-tights. Again, the shtick here, you're getting the big plaque to put in your display case saying R34. The really interesting thing about this is the display placard has a 3/4 rear profile of what the promotion was for this, which was a set of 3-spoke wheels. You only get the Nismo wheels that are in the box art. There's only one set of wheels in both these, and neither of them are the ones that were shown promotionally. They're the wheels that have always been in these kits, not the wheels that were shown to be in these kits. So Fujimi, once again, pulling the bait and switch on the wheels. But that was, again, only if you saw promotional stuff. If you're looking at the box art, those are the wheels you're going to get, but they're not the wheels you were supposed to get. And then last but not least for this video, the reissue of the Honda Civic Type R. This was last seen in the Tokei Mountain Pass series, just getting reboxed into a regular kit. I think the Togi kit has been out of production for a couple of a year and a half anyway. It's not a hard kit to find anyway. They made like a gajillion and a half of these. So it's just a reissue and a new box art. You do get a great big Group A style rear spoiler for this, in addition to the factory stock Type R spoiler. You do also get a right-hand or a left-hand drive dashboard in here, but it is for just the regular Civic, not the Civic Type R. They made a Civic Sear out of this as well, which again was last time they reissued. That was the Tokei Mountain Pass series, and it was the first time that kit had been reissued in forever when they did that a couple years ago. This one, again, this the tried and true Type R. The only main difference between the dashboards is the Type R has no like radio or nav radio type deal. So Yeah, it is what it is. You could build a left-hand drive and just call it a Type R Tribute and just be done with it. You know, plenty of people have taken all the Type R parts, imported them from Japan, and stuck them on a U.S. market Civic anyway. So it's not like it's something is wildly out of the question. And I can't believe you did that type of thing. So, at any rate, guys, that is it for this week. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys on the other side.